Yeah, yeah. In your house with O'Con. Hey, O'Con in your house. Hollywood in your house. Hypocrisy's head in the clouds. Curating all kind of loud. Wrestling in front of the crowds. Paragon's holding it down. Anybody can get it. Josh Joseph standing on his decisions. He is the voice. There is no choice. We as them boys in your house making wrestling noise. Moving fast just like cruiserweight action. In your house is the perfect distraction. Pumpers in your ears when you in traction. Get this work with some wrestling action. Smoke. What is up, guys? What is cracking? It's the comment. We are in your house, and you guys already know the vibes. Anytime we slide on through, we're here to give you that work when it comes to this professional wrestling business. And guys, it is Wednesday, and guys, it is time for something new. It's time for something fresh, and this is a debut here, the pilot episode of Bouquet of Legacy, where myself and my co-host right over here, Annie O'Neal, she's back, she's here. We kept her. She's still with the crew. But we're doing some different programming. Bouquet of Legacy is basically us giving giving the flowers to some great women's wrestlers, great women's matches, and great women's moments in professional wrestling. And I'm super excited to be doing this because of the fan that you guys out there in the household know that I am of women's wrestling. And you guys can hear me any Wednesday, and we've highlighted the women's tag team division when it was at its hottest. We've highlighted the greatness of the women's mid-card division as it's still building and going strong. We've covered many great women's main events just in this last year and great women's matches, whether it be the match that we're going to be getting at WrestlePalooza, and we saw earlier this year between Io Sky and Stephanie Vaquer, or some great matches that we've seen between Naomi and Rhea Ripley and Io Sky, and everything that Io Sky and Rhea Ripley have created together. And this is just within the last 6 months. Women's wrestling is moving. It's amazing. And so that's why I'm excited for myself and Danny to come together and really give the flowers to these amazing women. So without further ado, I'm going to bring in an amazing woman herself. She's divinely designed. That is Annie O'Neal. What is up, Annie?
What's up, Con? Your intros are just legendary, and you just even expanded my enthusiasm for something I'm so passionate about. You know, I consider myself an advocate in women's wrestling, and it's time to shine the spotlight on the past and present, because all of it and everything in between is so exciting. And like you said, the women's wrestling movement is just gaining more momentum. So, and why not just give it the stage that it deserves? And it's completely awesome to be able to do that. Like, I feel like this is one of my purposes in this business for everything I've ever experienced. And like, if one is a woman, they relate, and as men, they endure their own fair share. But it's awesome to put the focus on something that is different from the traditional narrative. So let's go.
Absolutely. And I feel like that with the debut of this particular podcast series, the Bouquet of Legacy, I feel like that a little bit of backstory should be shed. Like, of
Hmm.
course, obviously I'm a man, I'm not a woman. And, people will be like, oh, why are you so passionate about women's wrestling? Well, you gotta understand, ladies and gentlemen,
Hmm.
I've been watching wrestling for my entire life,
Hmm.
my whole life. Okay. So when I say that when I started watching wrestling, there were times in my life where the women would come on TV and I'd change the channel or go to the bathroom or go get a snack or something. Why? Because they weren't booked properly. They weren't being trained to do the things that they do in the ring. And when women did have matches back in the 90s, back in the mid or early 2000s, it was not train, like it was more like cat fights. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
This is exactly what I told Storm yesterday. If you guys get a chance to check out that amazing conversation
absolutely.
I had with Storm Garcon, such a good, I mean, such a talented individual, and we got real deep and in depth about women's wrestling
I
on
love
that
when
episode.
Storm is in the forecast. She is one of my absolute favorite peoples. She's great. So I'm glad that you got the opportunity to sit down and talk to Storm.
Yes, yes, amazing conversation. But like I was saying, like
Mhm.
I have been watching the women's revolution before it was the women's revolution in real time and seeing how it's all progressed,
Mhm.
seeing how things have moved from just being props to just being ballets to just being sex symbols to
Mhm.
get people to come and watch to being you know no, to having little to no
Mhm.
time on the show, no promo time, like in no character development,
Mhm.
no in-ring development to, I mean,
And
main eventing WrestleManias, having the best matches on the card, having the best competitors, having the best division I've ever seen in my entire freaking life. I mean, to see what it was to what
mhm.
it is now and seeing that in real time, yeah, I could say that's the reason why I'm a fan of women's wrestling.
And it's so sad because you know what? Those women during those times where there were nothing but uh cat fights and women in lingerie for bras and panties matches, they did everything that they could with the 5 minutes that they were given. And
Yep.
and at that time they didn't have the voices that they do now. They were cast in these archetypes that people did not believe that they could exceed. So, and on the indies, there were women getting it, and women in different parts of the country, or I'm sorry, different parts of the world, they were still proving that they could go just as hard as the men. So, it's a beautiful thing when the tides are changing, and that's what we're here to do.
Yeah, no, it's great to see. I mean, I just love what we're seeing right now with the current landscape of the WWE Women's Division. Of
Mhm.
course, we had, and it's not just WWE. I mean, like once again, referencing the conversation that I had with Storm Garcon yesterday. There was the amazing TNA Knockout division.
Mhm.
They had a great roster, and
Mhm.
still even now still have a great roster of women on file. There's just so many different facets that can show you women can do this just as good as the men. It's just amazing matches, and that leads me to what we're going to watch today because part of what we do here at the Bouquet of Legacy is we're going to be doing some watch alongs of classic women's matches. And the second half of this episode, I'm really excited because we have one of my favorite matches of all time that we're going to watch. We're going to rejoice, we're going to chill out, kick back, and we're going to reminisce and remember the story of Sasha Banks versus Bayley at the 2015 NXT Takeover Brooklyn event for the NXT Women's Championship. An instant classic and a highly acclaimed match that many people referenced as one of the greatest matches of all times. Inspiration for why some people, decided, what, it's time for me to hop in the wrestling business. And for me as well, everything that led up to this, because this is where the women's revolution
Mhm.
started. This is where, of course, we've talked about it on last week when we said in a lot of our minds, AJ Lee Page, that was the women's revolution before it had a name. But the one that we most notably know started in 2015 with
Mhm.
the likes of Sasha Banks, with the likes of Bayley, with the likes of Becky Lynch, with the likes of Charlotte Flair, and everybody that came after that, and how it just grew from there. So I'm super excited to show you that match and have a watch along of one of the greatest matches of all time.
And there were matches that opened those doors, and then there were those that proved why that women should be there.
Yeah. Yeah, most definitely. It is. This is going to be an epic podcast. I love what we're doing here for the Bouquet Legacy, and we've got some great stuff for you guys. I mean, it's like you guys are seeing over on the ECW watch along. Sometimes we'll do a watch along. Sometimes we'll talk about an individual talent. Sometimes we'll have on a guest. That's going to be some of the formula we're going to have here, and I'm super excited because I have some great matches that I want to show Annie. I have some great guests that we're starting to line up. This here is going to be amazing. But I know a lot of you guys came here to hear myself and Annie talk about Monday Night Raw. And don't you
Mhm.
worry. Don't you guys worry. Don't switch up. Don't keep scrolling on your phone yet, and don't close your computer screen. We're still going to give you our highlights. That's still a thing.
Absolutely.
It's not going to be the focal point of the show, but we have to make sure that we still give you guys in the household some of our thoughts. So we are going to do the Raw highlights, and then when we come back, we are going to do that amazing lead up and watch along. So let's jump right into Monday Night Raw, because honestly, even though this is a podcast that's centered around women's wrestling, Monday Night Raw was really, really heavy with telling the stories of the women competitors. And it just, I would, even when I was watching it in real time as the show was going on,
Mhm.
and I saw how much time the women had, whether it be Bayley telling her
Mhm.
story of what she's about to do, or Nikki Bella backstage, and Asuka setting up for a match, and Asuka stressing Kyrie Sane out, and everything going on with that, and Io Sky as well, or Lyra Valkyria facing off against Raquel Rodriguez, which is going to set up now for Roxanne Perez to face off against Lyra Valkyria next week, which I think is about to be a damn banger. So I'm
Oh,
excited for that
seriously,
match.
like, both
Yep.
both members of the female members of the Judgment Day? Yes. Sign me up. I wouldn't mind seeing Lyra and Raquel run it back, in a series again, and same with Roxanne Perez, because I that's something I didn't know I needed, and I'm glad we got it.
Yeah, yeah. I actually, like, we're definitely going to talk about, because I know probably the biggest thing people want to hear us talk about is the AJ Lee promo was absolutely amazing. We're definitely going to jump into that because I have a
Mhm.
lot to say about that. But let's stay with Raquel Rodriguez for a quick
Mhm.
minute. We don't have to, go overboard with it, but I got to say the improvement that Raquel Rodriguez has shown
Mhm.
since, I believe it was Kevin Nash that had told her, "Oh, you need to work bigger.
Mhm.
You need to work big woman style." And man, mixing that up with the fluid motion that because she can flow, like when
She
she's in the ring.
can.
She's yeah, she when she gets going, she's going. Like, it's not just like, it's a good mix of big woman style, but she also can go, move for move with you and pace for pace. So it's
Mhm.
great. I just think that we're starting to. I think Raquel Rodriguez needs to start being in the women's world title
Mhm. I
conversation,
agree.
because it's starting to get there for me.
Especially after the match that she had with Lyra. Lyra is fundamentally a different wrestler than Raquel is, and sometimes that can be a train wreck, but Roxanne was on that flow, and she was keeping up with I'm sorry, Raquel was keeping up with Lyra pound for pound all the
Yeah.
way, and just Lyra's incredibly technical, but Raquel shut her down with that power. And it's just not um I don't know, like the stereotypical big person. She moves with a sense of grace and elegance,
Yeah.
and but she also has that power, and she reminds you of it.
Yep. Yep. I just love what she's doing. I think that she's to me, she's big time,
Mhm.
like, starting to hit my radar in a major way. That's the thing, like, a lot of these women are like, I love
Mhm.
Roxanne Perez, I love Lyra Valkyria, watching Julia over on SmackDown. I think she's great. Always gonna love Chelsea Green. There's just so many names that can come up,
Mhm.
and I just love what they do. They're in that mid card. That mid card is really building well. But let's keep going with these. Let's keep going with these storylines that's going down over on Monday Night Raw, because it's a lot. It's a lot that's going down, but none bigger than the return of AJ Lee. And she came out and she's just looks amazing. I know we've all said this. We saw her on Friday. She looks great. Looks to be in great shape. Looks to be ready for the ring. On the mic, she still got it. We learned that Monday. But
Mhm.
it was really, I was wondering, what was she going to say? How was she going to address the crowd? And the way she did it was just amazing. She referenced her mental health journey. You know, she referenced that she went to therapy. She had a whole therapy chant that was going around in the arena there in Milwaukee, and I was like, damn. Only at a wrestling show would you see that many people chanting for therapy, and it was great. I
And
loved it.
it wasn't done in an ironic sense. Like, people, they were lighthearted, but they took it seriously. I could
Yeah,
tell, like, the emotion was at the forefront her entire segment, and it's so interesting, like, how something, like, so simple, but, like, yet so many people deny, it really catches on people's radar, you know? I feel like the wrestling business in general and the people who flock to it, we're all broken souls.
yeah,
And you know, like, there's a certain solidarity that is just unites us all, like, love or hate wrestling, critical or lover of it. The thing that we all have in common is that we all love it.
yeah.
And for someone to be so vulnerable but so honest, that's incredible. But she still doesn't deviate from who she is and who she was. She's just more of it. You know, just because you go to therapy doesn't mean you're still not crazy at your core. That's why you go to therapy.
That is so true. You know, I thought particularly that was so on top of just the fact that she's just everything. Perfect time for her to come back. I mean, I really could. I know there was so many other opportunities that people were saying, "Oh, she should have came back." This felt like the right time. It just did in my mind. I mean,
Mhm.
she is going to fit like a glove in that locker
Mhm.
room, and everybody's going to adore her, and everybody's going to love her because she influenced so many careers. We finally saw after 10 years her and Roxanne Perez together, and holding that coffee cup when Roxanne Perez
Mhm.
was like 13 years old. She's 23 now. Like that's crazy. Like insane. And like the influence that AJ is gonna have is gonna be so amazing. But like you said, her being so raw and real with
Mhm.
her journey. And I particularly loved it because I remember, and maybe
Mhm.
you do too, back in the 90s, you're talking about going to therapy. People were like, "What's wrong with you? Are you crazy?"
Right. Oh, just
Yeah.
just because you don't look sick. Oh,
Right.
okay. Really?
Like
Okay.
therapy, you must crazy or something. What's wrong with you?
Yeah,
Like
that's why
it
you need to
was
go to therapy.
right. It was taboo though. You
You
know what
know,
I'm saying?
we know what it's like to witness boomers who repress and suppress their every emotion. We lived
Yep.
with that our whole lives, and mm, thank you, AJ Lee, and thank you for the millennial nod. Like, that made
Yeah.
me feel very validated, and it's funny because the things that we saw that were just rampant in the adults that were surrounded our life, they I feel like they need therapy the most.
Yeah.
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 Mm,
I
mm,
don't know. I thought for me it was
mhm.
special to hear an entire arena of people chant for
Yeah.
therapy. I thought it was cool. And AJ Lee just cooked so fucking hard on the mic. Like she cooked so hard. I was
She
like,
did.
geez, it's like you just picked the ball up and just started, hooping again or got back on the bike and just started going again. And it was like you never left. Like she's just still so good on the mic.
And I thought the moment where Becky took off her glasses and she had a black eye. That was that
Yep.
was that was interesting. So the narcissist does have a soft underbelly, doesn't it?
Yeah, and speaking of Becky, the thing, the way she's playing into all this and feeding AJ to make her look good, and and
Mhm.
and Becky like be the ultimate like the fans were ripping Becky Lynch apart. They're both so good. They're
And
both so good. Them together is amazing.
when is the last time we've seen a female be a heat-seeking missile like Becky Lynch is currently? I'm living for every moment of it.
Not on this level. Not on this level. Like Becky is doing it on a level to where she's like one of the you she's one of the top heels on the show right now.
Mhm.
Whether she's on Raw or SmackDown, she gets some of the most hate. She's a top heel on in WWE, period, whether she's on Raw or SmackDown, because she has been showing up on both shows. And she's doing that as a top heel, as the Intercontinental Champion, which is just making that title look great.
Mhm.
She's doing wonders right now.
And you know what? I actually find Seth Rollins' involvement with Becky Lynch way more interesting than what he was doing with the Vision.
Yeah, which it seems like they've kind of quiet. Like, I'm not saying they've split the two, but they have been separated for the last couple of weeks, to where you're not seeing them on camera together or really referencing each other. They're both respectively doing their own thing.
That's so interesting because I really didn't see that until you pointed it out. And that couldn't be further from the truth. You know, we haven't seen Paul Heyman in a minute. We haven't seen
Yeah,
Roman, but I really think the Bronsons, I think they are on such momentum right now that they don't need to be attached to Seth Rollins.
yeah.
And you know, he has other business to attend to, and you know, maybe they can just play off each other and not be directly involved. But I actually might prefer it that they go their separate ways.
Yeah, it just feels, I mean, it feels weird doing it so soon when they
Mhm.
just got together, like, I believe, like, the week after Monday Night Raw,
Mhm.
or it started at that point and then they progressed from there. So it seems
Mhm.
like it will be short-lived, but, like, right now they're doing something so different,
Mhm.
and we talked about it a little bit
Right.
before we went on air,
Mhm.
and you'd said something that I was like, yeah, that kind of makes sense, when you were
Mhm.
saying you kind of like them going out there by them, like the Braun and Braun connection being by themselves.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And I said to that is like, it's good for them because they don't always need to have the Paul Heyman crutch or the Seth Rollins crutch, which it's great for them to be flanking them and have them there, but they're not always going to be there, and they need to learn how to be entertaining on the mic on their own.
And you know what? And in of like, you know, the Braun connection, they're falling out into business with the Usos, and that's still tied to LA Knight.
Yeah,
And, you know, just Punk is splintering off in a different direction with Seth Rollins. And like, you know, before Punk tore his tricep or he had his tricep injury, like
yeah,
that was centered around just the two of them, and there wasn't even a title in the picture.
yeah.
So I feel like it's a good course of action, and it feels honestly kind of organic just to let that fall out naturally. And
Yeah, yeah. It seemed it. I mean, if they're gonna do it,
mhm,
if they're gonna do it, now is the time to do it, because they have them so deeply involved with
mhm,
what they're doing right now. Like Seth and Becky are deep in a storyline that is
mhm,
going to be a money maker at WrestlePalooza. I mean,
and that
that's
could go
huge.
here. It
Yeah,
really could.
yeah, it's I mean, it's gonna be big. It's AJ Lee's return to the ring.
Mhm,
We get to see the continuation of the blood feud that is Seth Rollins and CM Punk, and now that spills over to the wives in AJ
mhm,
Lee and Becky Lynch. This is boiling over to a point where like, the way they've booked it. The way they booked the tag match between those two couples has been picture perfect, because there
mhm,
was no reason to kind of be like, oh, well, maybe it's Becky Lynch coming out dressed as AJ Lee on Friday in
mhm,
Chicago or whatever, and then AJ doesn't come. Like, that's too overly convoluted. It was
mhm,
perfect for her to just show up there, for her to show up again on Monday to have her first words on the mic, and she'll probably be on every show up until WrestlePalooza. Then we'll figure out where it goes from there after that. I can't speak on that because I don't
mhm.
know, but like, the way they booked it is perfectly. And then the Braun and Braun connection. This is a powerful tag team.
Right.
Like, individually, these two are a powerful tag team. And Braun Breaker, who's great, and then Bronson Reed, who's also super ferocious. You know, these are two, like, forces going up against each other. But these two forces are going up against one of the greatest tag teams of all time. It's another big money match.
And speaking of how big of a money match that, you know, the couples are they are leading that right now. Do you think that if the Bronze were still connected to Seth Rollins in that way, do you think they would run the risk of being overshadowed and
Yeah,
lost in the shuffle?
I I I don't know about lost in the shuffle because I
Mhm.
think that after WrestlePalooza they would still be in a position to put him back on track to be doing something.
Mhm.
But man, I'm telling you, Annie, this intergender tag team match is one of the biggest intergender tag team matches like
Mhm.
I could think of in a really long time. And I do think that if you have the Brown and Brown connection involved in it,
Mhm.
it's just yeah, they're just gonna look like henchmen. And this is stuff that I've talked about with like Lovely Laveau like weeks
Mhm.
ago when we talked about when we talked about some factions or whatever, and some factions that have them just have guys that are just there, like we talked about the Bloodline
Mhm.
and the Gorillas of Destiny, Tama Tonga and Tongaloa, how deadly, how feared, how respected they were in the tag team division at New Japan Pro Wrestling. And then when they came over to WWE, they were just treated like henchmen for the Bloodline. They did not have the
Right.
same
Right.
prestige that they had in New Japan. They didn't have that same aura, that lore that they
Right.
had in New Japan. It didn't come over to WWE with them. Same thing with Authors of Pain. And I feel
I
like,
was just
to
gonna
your
call
point,
it the Occam and
yep.
Razar effect.
Sorry, yep.
Yep.
And
Mhm.
to
Yeah,
your point, I think if the Braun and Braun connection would be involved in this uh Becky Seth situation, they would just look like henchmen. So I
I
think it
agree.
is good that right now they're away.
And I feel like that is why they felt so convoluted to me the past few weeks. And even I feel like they run the risk of that happening to them if with the involvement of Roman Reigns. And is he still laid up in the hospital? And what's going on with Paul Heyman?
Yeah, now that's my biggest question because
Mhm.
to my knowledge, we're not going to see Roman Reigns for a while. Roman
Mhm.
Reigns is probably going to go off and do Street Fighter. He's already been announced
Mhm.
as Akuma for the film. But Paul Heyman is interesting because I have no clue when he's going to come back. I
Mhm.
thought he might be back like maybe a week after Clash in Paris or whatever, but he just hasn't come back. So it's going to be very interesting, especially with the Bronze and Seth and Becky. Like we talked about them being separated. How is that going to play when Paul Heyman does poke his head back out?
Mhm. And will he be so involved with them? So don't know.
It's gonna be super interesting for sure. Once again, when we talked about it, was a good Monday Night Raw that saw a lot of things happen. We had some great matches there. LA Knight is getting his involvement, and what's going on with Jay Uso and him doing what he's doing and
Mhm.
spearing LA Knight like he's not taking no mess. AJ Styles is another interesting situation. Don't know what's going on with that.
So who
And
was the better AJ on Monday Night Raw?
I mean, I love I
I mean,
love AJ Styles. I
AJ
love,
Styles
love,
won.
love, love.
He won.
He he did win. I love AJ Styles, but I got to give the night to AJ Lee. I
and
got to give the night to AJ Lee.
and AJ Lee used a belt that she didn't win to leverage a match that she wanted, which I thought was very manipulative and cunning, and I appreciate it. Um,
Yeah.
manipulation in the sense of getting something that you want for a good reason, not for bad intentions. This is why we go to therapy.
Exactly, exactly. I love the
Mhm.
fact that Becky Lynch was like after the crowd was getting on her ass, Becky was like, "I'm gonna need to go to therapy after this." Like she's just in her bag, and I enjoy
Oh.
it. Like I said, this Monday Night Raw really, really grew a lot of stories from the women's division, and like I said, even what's going on with just the promos with Bayley and
Mhm.
everything that's going on with that, and like we've talked about that. I just want to see when she shows up in ring. Like we've seen her behind the camera and everything. So I'm going to keep following with that, and we'll follow that as it continues. These
Mhm.
promos are getting interesting, and it seems like it's some kind of demented version
Right.
of Hugger Bailey. But hold on. because that's just a perfect segue into what we're about to watch here in a little bit. And that involves Bayley, because
Absolutely.
Bayley went up against Sasha Banks in 2015, back when NXT Takeover left Full Sail Arena in Florida, and they
Mhm.
ventured out for the very first time, and they went to Brooklyn for NXT Takeover Brooklyn. And what ensued there was one of the greatest, not just one of the greatest women's matches of all time, but one of the greatest matches of all time, period. And we're going to watch it here in a little bit. But first, we're going to take a break. We are going to pay a few bills. Then, when we come back, we are going to regale in the tale of Sasha Banks versus Bayley 2015 NXT Takeover Brooklyn women's title on the line. We'll talk about that and watch the match on the other side of this break.
Hello, everyone. It's the Pope Elijah Burke, founder and president of the Love Alive charity. I wanted to take this brief moment to share with you my charity's continued humanitarian efforts to positively impact the impoverished communities in and around the greater Jacksonville area. This cannot be possible without your support. If you'd be so kind, please take a moment to visit our website, love-alive.org, to learn more about the charity and its mission. Also, feel free to donate to our 501c3 organization that operates off of the donation of the public, which is you. Whether that be by website or via Cash App, $1 help makes a difference in the lives of others as we continue to positively influence many people by being the change that we wish to see in the world.
Welcome to the Brainbuster T-shirt website where your favorite podcast team in your house lives. Look at all these fantastic options you have.
If you want that sweet hype, we got it. You wanna be divinely designed at yours. Have you lost your voice? We have all that voice merch for you. Are you just a part of the household? We got that too. Brainbuster Tees is where IYH live. Brainbuster Tees is where IYH live.
Hey guys, welcome back to In Your House, where we talked some of the Raw highlights here on the Bouquet of Legacy, our pilot episode here, centering around women's wrestling, the development of women's wrestling, and giving the flowers to the women who make this sport so great. And, I try to stay great myself, all right? I got to keep myself in the best possible shape as I can, like I like to go out in the backyard. I like to run around with my dog and my daughter, and I want to be able to keep up. I want to be able to keep up. So, I hit the gym. I'm getting more consistent with it. I'm proud of myself and how I'm able to get in there and stay consistent in doing it, because consistency is key. I know you know that for sure, Annie, with everything that you do and you being in the gym and everything that you do on the mats. And when I want to stay consistent when I'm in the gym, I'm just glad I have goalie nutrition on my side. I thank God I have goalie nutrition on my side with the goalie gummies. And we got that care package in about a week ago and had all the sugar-free essentials. The sugar-free essential pack is what it was. And listen, if you're trying to cut some belly fat, if your fupa is fupaing, you might need to get some of that sugar-free apple cider vinegar. It's great for stuff like that. Also, the energy that you need to get through the day. And if you want to chill out, max, relax. I know Annie, she probably needs to relax after
All the
being
time.
on the mats.
All the time.
Exactly, after she's on the gym. So the ashwagandha gummies, they're perfect for restoring, relaxing, getting your mind right, staying calm, and trying to find your center. Ashwagandha gummies are perfect for that. Those are also sugar-free as well. And then your gut health. You got to stay on top of your gut health. You got to make sure that you got it all down and that everything is flowing and going how it needs to go.
So
And
it's good for your butt and your gut.
it's both. It's both of them,
Cool.
just like you're saying. So if you wanna show love and keep that wellness going for your butt and your gut, I get the pre and post prebiotics. They're sugar free as well, perfect for that. And man, I'm telling you, these are great. My wife has started taking them. She is seeing more energy. She's even been saying, she's like, yeah, I feel like I have more energy throughout the day. That is great. That's what we want. And hey, why don't you guys go over there and get your gut health, get yourself unwind and chilling, and maybe even focusing more with the Matcha Mind Goalie gummies? Head on over to goalie.com and enter promo code IYH at checkout, and you'll get a discount there. Let them know that In Your House sent you, and check out everything we're doing on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. So now it is time to talk about Sasha Banks and Bayley. And, we just talked about Bayley and what she's doing right now in terms of this gimmick change that's coming. And then, of course, we have Sasha Banks, now known as Mercedes Moné in AEW.
Mhm.
And I believe at this point she's a 9-belt holder
9.
and very polarizing in a lot of the wrestling spaces. But a lot of people feel a lot of different things. But I think one consistent is that what I see and what I hear is that Mercedes Moné is putting on some incredible matches in her post WWE career, and she's doing it her way, which we've said it a million times. I've said it a million times on this show and a million times with talent, that success in the wrestling business is not linear. It's not one direction. There's many different ways to see success. And I truly think that Mercedes Moné is really in an interesting lane for herself. And Annie, it really started here where she got off the ground. I mean, she was already the women's
Mhm.
champion, but I think that 2015, this match, August
Mhm.
22nd, 2015 in Brooklyn, I really think that at that point, it helped push her into a different stratosphere. Talking about Sasha Banks, Mercedes Moné.
Love her and hate her, but one thing to Sasha Banks, formerly known as, and now she is Mercedes Moné, one thing to her credit is that she has proved that she doesn't have to be successful only in WWE. She's found
Mhm.
it outside because, hello, she has 9 belts, and I don't know how she is physically strong enough to carry them all and all at the same time. It's actually quite comical.
Yeah,
Like,
it's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, because here's the thing: a lot of people feel a lot of different ways about
mhm,
her, holding 9 belts and what the prestige of those belts and yada yada yada, whatever have you. I'm not here to have that conversation. Not on
mhm,
a particular podcast. What I am saying is that she has found a very niche lane for herself to be
mhm,
considered in the conversation of best in the world right now. Now, if you ask a lot of people, they're going to say the best wrestler in the world right now, man and woman, is Io Sky. And I think that Io Sky carries that with a calm humility about herself. Like, you don't ever see her in promos saying, "Oh, I'm the best. I'm considered the best in the world." She's just out there and she's ready to do the work, and she's
mhm,
gonna face what she has to face. Mercedes Moné has always been a loudmouth. I mean, taking it back to 2015, she was a loudmouth then. She's a
mhm,
loudmouth now, and she's going to let you know that she is the best. And I just think the development of who she has become has been very interesting.
mhm,
And once again, 2015 was very pivotal for both
mhm.
Sasha Banks and Bayley and the development of their characters. And I think how everybody viewed women's wrestling after that match.
And you know what? Let's just state facts. If she didn't have the characteristics to hold 9 different championships, she wouldn't have them. It's just as simple as that. You can love
Yeah,
her or you have the choice to hate her. And she received a lot of criticism by how she left WWE, but she looked at herself and she understood her value. She
yeah.
was said, "No, thank you. I deserve more." And do people hate her because she's honest? Because she's forthcoming about what she wants? And but there are women like Io who, like you said, she has this calm, quiet confidence and a humility about her because some people don't have to prove with word what they're all about. They just are. They're just living embodiments. But
Mm-hmm.
but do we think that Mercedes Moné got more of what she wanted by by being all about it, by, you know, acting with what she knows to be true on such a point that she just, and you know what, the more reaction that sometimes people make, the more attention that they just attract.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm listening to everything that you're saying, and my mind is just going right now. So you being, I for once again, I've said this
Mhm.
about voice, I say this about you as well. For my money, one of the best interviewers in the business right now. So I'm gonna, Uno reverse it and flip it on you here.
Mhm.
I want to ask one of the best interviewers or question herself.
Mhm.
You are a woman, you are a competitor, maybe not an in-ring competitor in
Mhm.
professional wrestling, but getting on those mats, you are a competitor, you have a competitive drive about yourself. I want to ask this, and
Mhm.
we're pivoting from talking Sasha Banks because we're talking both women. I want to
Mhm.
pivot from talking Mercedes Moné and talk about Bayley. So my question is this, and
Mhm.
I just want to put this in your mind before I ask it. Charlotte Flair, we're talking about the four pillars at that time, the four horsewomen at that time. Charlotte Flair knows how to carry herself in this business because of
Mhm.
her father's name. Everything that she got it because, the name, there were politics involved, but also she most definitely owned the role and, became one of the best overall competitors in ring and was able to carry that Flair name successfully and of course holding her own. Well, that comes with being able to be like, hey, there's stuff I'm not gonna do, and this is what I will do. You've earned that right.
Mhm.
Becky Lynch, she's been, some people have called her in passing Becky Hogan because if she, she'll big league, you know what I'm saying? She
Mhm.
wants to be the best, she wants to be on top. She's not just going to do anything. We just talked about the ego that is held by Sasha Banks, Mercedes Moné, so much that she will walk away from the company if she doesn't like what she's doing, and she created something on her own, and she did it because she wasn't just a good soldier. So
Mhm.
now we take it to Bayley. Bayley, who has always been the late bloomer of the four horsewomen and has always been a good soldier and has always done whatever is given to her and isn't the egomaniac or somebody that needs to protect their image in a way that Sasha Banks, Mercedes Moné, Charlotte Flair, and Becky Lynch have. And that has delivered them success. So I guess my question for you is that,
Mhm.
do you think that is what has held Bayley back? Do you think Bayley being a good soldier is why she isn't considered to be the name that Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, or Mercedes Moné, the name that they carry now? And she's more like, oh, we love her, but like, it's Bayley. Like, where are you at on that?
You know what? I absolutely respect the path that Bailey has chosen to take, and each path is valid. And you know, we all get about there in different ways. I appreciate that about Sasha Banks. I appreciate that about Charlotte Flair. And you know, a lot of people believe that these women are synonymous with a word like bitch. Is she a bitch, or is she just is she's a woman who gets what she wants and she's unapologetic about it? And
Right.
there are women like Bailey, you know, they will make the best out of any situation and absolutely transform it. And you know what? Who knows if she's always enjoyed what she's been giving, but she's willing to endure. And there's something respectful about her longevity. And you know, I really appreciate that. She wants to be what she envisions good about the world, and she wants to her focus to be on living on giving a living legacy for people to embody. And Sasha Banks and Charlotte Flair, they just embody that in a different way, and neither is invalid. um and you know, women like Bailey are important. You know, they she resonates with the awkward girl who doesn't see what she's capable of, because
Mhm.
Bayley is not afraid to be vulnerable. And I think that's something that might be foreign to women like Sasha Banks and Charlotte Flair. Or maybe they, at the core, that is exactly who Sasha and Charlotte are. And they're just unafraid to let that do the leading, and Bayley isn't.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, it's just Bailey is always going to be fascinating to me
Mhm.
in a way that, like you said, I mean, she will take whatever you give her. Like, to me, that is just at the core, like a wrestler's wrestler to me.
Mhm.
Not saying that you're less of a wrestler if you protect yourself or whatever, and
Mhm.
like, oh, I can't do this or I can't do that. Like, I get it. Like, I'm not trying to be judgy when it comes to that, because I do
Mhm.
see how that fits into what you're doing. You got to protect your image, you got to protect your character, and you got to put yourself in the best situation to look good, unless it makes sense for you to make the other person look good and you got to go under. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So there's, in a lot of cases, you need to be protective. I get it. But like, in this case, it's just like Bailey is just like, give it to me, I'll do it. And I
Mhm.
think that's what sets her apart. Like you said, people love Bailey because she's not trying to big league nobody. She's
Mhm.
not trying to, do no dirty business or anything like that. She's just trying to wrestle and up her game and be better. And
Mhm.
like, there's so many videos on IG, like, and you see a lot of stuff on IG. You see models and you see
Mhm.
women wanting to be sexy or whatever. Not Bailey, man. And I'm not hating on the
Mhm.
IG models or the OnlyFans. I'm not hating on that. I'm just saying, when I see videos of Bailey, especially lately, a
Mhm.
lot of the time it be her in her gym with some like 1997 Monday Night Raw going or
Mhm.
whatever, and she's lifting and match studying at the same time. And I'm like, see, Bailey is so fucking deep in the game,
She
but
is.
at her core,
Mhm.
she know like she's still match studying, like she's still doing tape studies, she's still working out. Like, that's what it's all about. Like,
Mhm.
Bailey is the embodiment of just like, hey, I know I got here, but I'm still trying to get to that next thing. And she's staying with what kept her to the dance. Training, tape study, she's still
Mhm.
doing it even this deep in the game. And I just truly respect that.
And one thing that, like, children, they see things on the internet, and then, well, what archetype would you want a young girl to embody? And like, I'm not hating on anyone's game. Their choices are their choices, and I support that right to life. Whether, you're showing, like you said, the IG models, and both portray a different image, and which one would is more wholesome, but both play a part. So.
Yep. For me, it's just, I appreciate the
Mhm.
grind this deep in the game.
And
Like,
you know what? Not every
it's a
woman wants to
Kobe,
be.
it's a Kobe mentality to
It
me that
is.
Bailey got.
And not every woman wants to be a role model. So.
Yeah. True that. True that. No,
Mhm.
and I'm not trying to push role model on nobody. That
Mhm.
is a heavy burden to carry. That I think that Bailey looks to carry. She's the role model for a reason. That's why she calls
Mhm.
herself that. So yeah, I mean, but let's jump into this match, because once again, this was an interesting time, and this was really a genesis for both these women, Sasha Banks and Bailey.
Mhm.
And like, I remember how important this was, because takeovers were everything in this time. I
Yeah.
promise you. Takeovers were everything. WWE was still in a weird transition stage where Raw and SmackDown was like okay, but it still wasn't really hitting on the cylinders like what we get on maybe one Monday Night Raw will be slow, and the next one after that will be kind of slow, but then we get a banger and then another bang. Like, we get consistent bangers now. But in 2015, it wasn't moving like that. So like,
Mhm.
if you really wanted to enjoy your wrestling on a different level, you were watching NXT. I know I was. And man, when it was time for a takeover, it felt so special, because it felt like wrestling was back at that time.
Did it feel like
Like,
waiting for Christmas?
yeah, every takeover. every single takeover because you knew the matches were going to be great. You knew that they had great lead up to it. You knew you're going to see some of the best indie talent that got signed from Ring of Honor or some other independent promotion at that time, and they were coming over to NXT. It was a magical time, and this time was so magical as well because it
Mhm.
was the first time the takeover was out of Full Sail Arena over there in Florida, and
Mhm.
they moved over to Brooklyn. It was the first time they took it out of there. They made it huge. They made it big, and news. And here's another thing that you might not know. When when NXT started that tour, when they started to tour outside of Full Sail Arena, I was at one of those first shows in
Mhm.
Cleveland, yeah, in Cleveland, Ohio. I drove to Cleveland to go because I loved NXT that much. Like I
Yeah.
drove 5 hours to Cleveland to. I'm like I don't know when NXT is going to tour again, so I'm just going to go to the closest one that's to me, and it was a great show. And this was around the time that they had done NXT Takeover
Mhm.
Brooklyn, and this match was so important because this is when Sasha Banks was the champion. She was truly embracing who she was as the legit boss, is that dominant, cocky champion, and being able to hold the title for as long as she had it. But then you had Bayley, and Bayley, who had some injuries. It has like she had some injuries. I believe at the time she was dealing with the wrist injury,
Mhm.
and then she would have feuds with like Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair, and she would lose those feuds. She would always come up short, which
Mhm.
fed into the narrative that she was the weakest of the four horsewomen. But then when Bayley came back from injury, she started picking up some key victories. She started really starting to gain some momentum. The hugger gimmick was getting
Mhm.
over. She started becoming one of the first women underdogs I've for, and Bayley was just so real. Like it was very much giving like just a fan who grinded and did what she had to do to make it, and she got into the business. And yeah, she was still starry-eyed. She was still there's still moments where she would act like she was on the other side of the barricade,
Mhm.
but she had it. She had something in her that maybe she didn't even know that she had, and what we got out of it was one of the greatest matches of all time and one of the best underdog stories ever told.
And she was one of the only horsewomen that was not called up
Yep.
to the main roster, right?
Yeah, at yeah, that because you had Becky Lynch who developed a lot quicker than anybody
Mhm.
had expected. Charlotte Flair, who everybody expected her to be where she was at. Sasha Banks had already, been reigning as a dominant NXT Women's Champion and making her case to go to the main roster.
Mhm.
Well, Bayley was sputtering at that time. The Bayley versus Sasha Banks rivalry at Takeover Brooklyn was the combination of Bayley's underdog journey and Sasha's reign of dominance. Bayley fought through setbacks, beat top contenders, and ultimately had her moment against the cocky champion. And that's why this powerful yet simple story that was told is one of the best matches of all time.
And it's a tale as old as time, but it just was so good. And I mean, there's only so many wrestling archetypes that can be retold. Like that's just how that is. But the way that they told it and the energy that they led with was it was absolutely enthralling this match. And the storyline the entire way through.
Yeah, they did a really great job of telling the story, and that's why it's one of my favorites. And I'm excited to do it, and
Mhm.
we're about to do it right now. So, if you guys want to join us out there in the household, whether you're checking it out with us here on Facebook, YouTube, X, and Twitch, or you check it out with us later on when it drops on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, I'll let you know where it is. Go to YouTube, go to the WWE Vault, and you would just all you really have to do is type in Sasha Banks versus Bayley, and what should pop up from the WWE
Mhm.
Vault is full match Sasha Banks versus Bayley, NXT Women's Title match, NXT Takeover Brooklyn, and we're about to go ahead and get this started. We're about to go ahead and watch this. Annie, are you ready to go?
I'm so ready. Let's go.
All right, and we will go ahead and get this going in three, two, one, zero. Man, I remember this gimmick. Oh my gosh.
It's I l it's like they just found tassels to tape
Yeah,
tape onto her arms. Oh,
It's the wacky waving inflatable tube sailing. What was it? Yeah, there it is. There it is. He
you
got it.
know,
He got it better than me.
I could only imagine how ecstatic I would be for Bayley if I was 12 years old.
Yeah.
Like she is that cool older cousin that you just couldn't wait to see at birthday
Yeah.
parties. Oh my god, the slap bracelet, 12-year-old Anne would be in heaven.
Yeah. I forgot she did the slap bracelets. She was so over too with the hugger gimmick. People forget.
That headband with the side ponytail.
Yeah, iconic.
My I peaked in my at this point in my development.
She knew who she was. Look at that. Boom, the hug. She was killing that gimmick. Not everybody could have done that.
I can only imagine how many people might scoff at this type of gimmick.
Yeah.
If Miss Rachel were a wrestler, it would be Bayley circa
Yeah. Yep.
2015. And I love it. I love it so much. That was its
That's perfect.
and then this one. Love this entrance.
Oh man, the
Just
intro was always dope.
the star power, the security detail, like
Yep. They ate with the entrance. It was perfect. It fit her perfectly.
she embodies that Mariah attitude without being
Yep.
labeled a diva.
Yep.
And I love it. Cause she's gonna scrap.
Man.
I don't like that strap. I don't like it. I don't like the
What
black
is
and the
it?
silver.
Oh, the title?
Yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah, it wasn't the best title at the time, but man, it was prestigious though. I can't
Oh
lie.
yeah, for sure.
What they did with that title was amazing.
And for some of these gentlemen, this is the highlight of their entire career.
Exactly. Yep.
No hate, no hate. I'm
No,
just
I'm just saying. I
kidding.
mean,
You know,
but here's the thing though. Like that is a moment.
it
I mean,
is.
you was
It
a
is
small part of one of
100%.
the greatest matches of all time.
You can add that to your IMDb for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot more
Look
work
at
for
it, the
WWE
confident
than I've ever
champion.
had. So
Yeah, for sure. Look at that confident champion. You can't tell Sasha Banks nothing, and you could even see Bayley's facial expressions. Like there's still some self-doubt within her.
mhm.
That's why the story was so good.
Pam. No, before the Pam status was unlocked.
Yep.
Bayley's gonna be a cougar in the next 10 years. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I could see that. I could totally see that. Damn, the pop for Bayley.
She's and Sasha Banks is one of those who it doesn't matter if she just thrives on the energy, and it just
Oozable.
powers her entire being. Like, I'm delusional and I don't care. I'm the
Yeah,
champion.
the thing about Sasha Banks, not everybody could do what Sasha Banks does.
Not
Like
at all.
booing her, she just absorbs it. Like not many can just take in that type of hate and be like, "Thank you, sir. May I have another?" You know what I'm saying?
Oh my god, it's like Logan Paul, but a
Exactly.
woman.
He just bathes in it.
And we all know my thoughts on Logan Paul, but just the he just doesn't let things rattle him.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
the same with Sasha Banks.
Oh, this match is underway.
Oof. And Bayley just refusing that trash talk. It felt it in that moment, like the look on her face. It looked like she was starting to. Those words were starting to penetrate.
Yeah. This is, like I said, loudmouth. Oh, but here comes Bayley.
Absolutely going for the kill so early on, and just the volume
Ooh.
that they're already receiving, and it's only like 2 minutes into the match.
Yeah, this match, I forgot how hot this match started out. Oh, listen to this damn crowd. The electricity. You wasn't here. This is why this was different, Annie,
Mm-hmm.
because you didn't have the electricity in women's matches like this all the time back in 2015. Like you feel it in, like you could feel it in the atmosphere while these two are wrestling.
And was this the crowd response? Was that the case on Raw and SmackDown? I don't think so.
No, no, it wasn't. This is honestly, this is back because I've said this a lot. Like
Mm-hmm.
I I feel like, oh my god, that elbow. I feel like that like pre-COVID wrestling crowds, especially in the WWE, were pretty weak.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was no excitement. Like they were sitting on their hands. I talked about this for years. They were
Mm-hmm.
sitting on their hands at shows or whatever. And it's like, why go to Raw or SmackDown if you're not there to get excited? I feel like things kind of changed a little bit after COVID because we were like,
Mm-hmm.
oh my god, we can go back outside. We
We
need to,
took things for granted,
that's a
for sure.
yeah,
For
we took
sure.
exactly, we took things for granted, but before that, it was a little lackluster. This was not usual for the crowd to be like this, especially during the women's matches, and it just added to what this match already was.
I love that Sasha still continues to talk all the trash from outside, because obviously, but why would you turn your back on Bayley like that? And that spot between the bottom ropes and the corner where she slid through, like I thought that was so innovative.
She doesn't respect Bayley enough. That's the like that's part of the story here is that she doesn't respect Bayley enough to not turn her back on Bayley. She think at this time she just thought Bayley was a weak little girl who couldn't get the job done and just wanted to hug people and didn't have the killer instinct to, you know what I'm saying, to like
Hmm.
really beat somebody on the level of the legit boss.
And
Ooh,
just through all of that, like still through all of the shadows of doubts that Bayley must have experienced, like this person is saying so much of the same thing to me, like could that be true? And then she just steps in the ring like this, and she is a huge case of pressure for Sasha Banks, whether Sasha realizes that
ooh,
or not. And like,
oh,
and in that
damn.
moment where you underestimate someone like who has all that potential,
Yeah,
that jeopardizes, your delusion of grandeur. So, and in this moment, Bayley really becomes who people are believing her to be.
yeah. There was the development here, like in real time, as you're watching the match, and you probably see it as the story is being told, that Bayley was throughout this match, Bayley figured it out. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like she started out uncertain, but as the tide started turning in the match, and that's part of why the story is so good is that we saw that potential that you were talking about
Oh, just
shine through in this match.
the disrespect in that slap, like that was generated from pure hatred from Sasha
Oh my
Banks.
god, yep. No respect. I'm telling you, they told the story so beautifully. Sasha's not worried about Bayley.
And I love that this was at this point in time, Bayley was becoming something incredibly special, but it's
Yeah,
like all this time later, it's just so satisfying for her to become who she is right now.
yeah.
Because I think the work that Bayley is doing right now, it's actually going to lead into her best work yet.
I think it's coming. I do think it's coming. I mean, we've talked about the promos that they're having. We know the
Mhm.
type of whatever Bayley does between the ropes is just going to be great because Bayley's a great in-ring competitor. But
Mhm.
like whatever she's about to do character-wise, I think is definitely going to push her into a different stratosphere, like
Mhm.
similar to what we saw with Naomi.
And it's really cool just to see the origin point for Bayley, because we're seeing two different sides of the spectrum here, like
Yeah.
your cool older cousin just can't wait to spend time with, to we're delving into the dark and the demented. So just the breadth of that span is just, it's incredible.
Oh yeah. I love, there was truly a time back around this time where I'm like,
Mhm.
I love Bayley. I'm a huge fan of Bayley, but I'm not sure she can do anything else besides the hugger gimmick. And boy, did she shut me up. And I'm glad she did because her character development has been great. And once again, like we just talked about, I think she's truly, truly about to
Mhm.
level up with this next character.
And like people have said the same thing for Naomi, going back to your original point. Like when Naomi showed up, she's first showed up, no, she was on NXT, but then she was a
Yeah.
Funkadactyl.
Yep.
And did people think that she peaked then? Mm-mm.
I think there's a lot of people who thought she wouldn't be with the company that long.
Mhm.
Cameron wasn't, which was the other Funkadactyl. She hasn't been
Mhm.
with the company for years.
And
Naomi's built different, though.
right, for sure. I I don't think Cameron had the wrestling heart. Like, you know what? People come in this business to make money, and then,
Ooh,
well, they're not a just because they can wrestle, they don't have the spirit for it. And that matters a lot.
exactly.
Mhm.
Yep, yep. And these two women in this match most definitely have proven over the last 10 years before this match, but definitely during this match, that they have the spirit for it. Look at Sasha. Just so cool, calm, collected, under control. Bayley trying to find her footing, can't find it. Sasha with the cocky smile on her face, still talking trash.
And the mental torment she's just pushing Bayley into. And then
Yeah. She
Bayley
called her
follows
pathetic.
with, right,
Ooh,
strikes the
damn.
core at
Kicked
the
her right in the
emotional
mouth.
part of Bayley. And now she's beating the brakes off Sasha. Like, um,
Sasha's one of them you just want to see her get her ass beat. She knows what she's doing. Oh shit. Okay, Bayley with the roll through and then the punches. Damn.
right. But it without people like Sasha Banks, people who carry that standard,
Oh
like,
damn. Ooh.
people just sit on their potential
Yep.
without ever accessing what it will lead you to. Oh god, just the way that they were selling this injury through the entire course of this
Oh, the
match
hand injury.
was
Yes. Oh my god.
awesome.
I know I talked about it earlier that she had that injury. Oh, she's taking it off. See this? I remember now. Remembering now. When I watched this at the time, I was like, "Oh
Mhm.
my god, that was such an amazing touch by Sasha." That she
And
would take that off. Be like, I'm about to expose the injury.
I love the imagery of her just rolling in so
Oh,
carelessly to
just throw her back
begin
out
that
again.
count. Yes. And she's like, "Oh, I use these rules to my advantage,
Yep.
but I'll play by
Brilliant.
them."
Uh-oh. Oh!
That hands like, this is actually one of my favorite spots of the entire match. Just Sasha Banks, completely brutal.
Look at the pain in Bayley's face. Ah!
Like, this legitimately worried me. I mean, the stairs didn't move very much, but like
Oh
just
my
the
god.
illusion that it creates, like,
Damn, Sasha is sick. Oh!
stupid ad break.
Oh! Oh, they hate her. Looked like she broke her hand.
It really did though.
Damn.
And that's technically, it's not illegal. It's not illegal.
Nope, nothing illegal about what she did. That was just the caginess of the boss at the time.
up and over the referee. How cool was that?
Oh my God.
So damn cool. And the
People
length
gotta, oh my gosh. I'm sorry, go
the,
ahead.
the length of this match is almost unheard of. Like,
Yeah.
we're talking about almost a half hour.
And they just went. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
This is awesome chants from the crowd. Yes, it is. See, people, here's the thing I think with Mercedes Moné, she says a lot of like clickbait things that, people that piss people off and they be annoyed with her. But let's not forget that she's badass in the ring. And she's showing it now in this match.
And
Ooh,
still
just called her
how
a loser and slapped her.
in 2015, like, women who look like Sasha Banks were still grossly underrepresented.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
this is so important at the point in time it's playing out in.
Yep. Because this match happened way ahead of its time, I believe. Like, we have matches like this, like, almost every PLE for the women, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But
And
this was not normal.
and just 3 short years later, the first Women's Evolution
Yep.
pay-per-view.
I think a couple years after that, the first Women's Royal Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
Which, shoot, my daughter was actually just watching that like a few weeks ago. She just put
Mm-hmm.
it on TV and started. My youngest, she started watching the first ever Women's Royal Rumble, and I was like, "Why'd you turn that on?" It was just
But
random. I loved it.
and that's so awesome because, like, things like this set this movement in motion.
Yeah.
You know, like, they
Ooh.
put women on the map on a whole different level.
Yeah. Yep. Look at Bayley just firing up with one hand. She was on top of it.
And what a smart way to work that hand, even though, like, that part popped me so much. Her little wave, like,
Yeah. I'm telling you, they was different back then. They're both still great 10 years later, but man,
mhm.
oh my God. Right in that corner, big corner suplex.
I love how Bailey's hair style evolves through the course of this match.
Yeah.
You saw many different variations of the ponytail.
Uh-oh. Nope. She dead weighted herself on the Bailey to belly. Uh-oh. Nope. Uh-oh, the roll through. Nope. Oh my God. Oh, she got her.
Oh, such an amazing
Hold on. What?
reversal.
Ooh.
This is lethal.
Oh, the bank statement.
Oh, been there, girlfriend. Been there.
Oh, she is fighting to get to the rope. The crowd is
So
clamoring.
close.
She's about to kick that rope. If I remember, she
And I
kicks the rope.
love how she's still working
Oh, I always
the
love this part.
injury.
She kicked the shit out of that.
She
Oh,
really
it was
did.
gold. She can't get it. She's gonna kick the
Oh,
rope
and
and flip over. Oh my God,
Bailey
it's so
reverses
good.
it.
Oh, but she got her now. Oh my God, crossface.
I love that karma. It's almost instantaneous. Like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
this is what you were like. God, really wrenching that neck.
Yeah, she is. But keeping it under the chin and not on the
Oh,
neck. Oh my God, she got it.
that intense ring awareness from Sasha Banks, just so intense.
Yeah. Oh my God, they are banging. It's been so long since I watched this match. Crowd is on fire. These two women have ripped each other apart.
You know, and it's a good back and forth like that. You know, it could have been anyone's game at any point.
Exactly. That's why this is one of the best matches. Oh, kick to the face. Kicked her right in the mouth. Oh, but here comes Bayley. She's not playing. Bayley,
Oh,
it's like I told you. Oh my God, Bayley, bang, she got her. That's it. No! Oh my God. It's like I was telling you earlier, like, we saw the development of Bayley throughout this match where we saw her unconfident at the very beginning and kind of like reeling, but now she's finding her footing and realizing, yeah, I could beat her. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, but if you can go toe to toe with someone like Sasha Banks, what does that prove to yourself? Especially
Yeah.
like the archetype that Bayley is embodying here. Like, there's still so much of her understanding that lies in that self-doubt. But when you complete something like that, what do you learn about yourself?
You can get to those many different levels that you probably didn't think you could get to before. You know what I'm saying? Oh, wait a minute. What?
Oh,
She has a call.
vicious.
Nope. She's trying to go for that super Bailey to belly.
Here she goes again.
Yep, she's coming. She's going all the way up. We're gonna see a
Oh,
Hurricane Rana. Oh my god!
I thought that was it. I thought no more hugs would be given, but oof.
That looked rough.
And I love how she's just not making it seem so obvious. She's rolling to the corner for the next spot.
Oh,
Like, have you ever seen the rolling pin effect?
what is it?
When it's so obvious that the person who is about to take something from the
Oh,
corner and they're just like Ralph Wiggums to the
positioning
corner.
themselves.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. These pinfalls have been nasty. Like the way they have to kick out of them to like Bailey, to basically flip over to kick out.
And you know what? Not only is Bailey's self-doubt being alleviated in this match, but it's Sasha's of Bailey.
Yeah, you see the tides turn as the match goes on.
And I
Like,
really saw that crystallize in that look that Sasha just made.
yeah, like, can I beat her? Why can't I beat her? This is easy for me. This should be
Right.
easy.
Why isn't this easy?
She's pathetic. She's a loser. I'm the legit boss. Why is this hard? Like, you see the tides turn in real time.
But when someone like with that type of mentality, they lose their crown, they see that the fault lines are really underneath.
Yeah. Uh-oh. What are we doing here?
Oh God.
Oh my god! Ah!
My heart is in my teeth. Thank you.
Top rope dragon run. Bailey! 1, 2, she did it!
There it is. Oh.
The top
Listen
rope
to that
poison Rana.
roar.
Oh yeah, she was so up.
God,
She
that
was
place is
up.
packed.
Yep. NXT was, I'm not saying it's not now, it's still doing great, but it was hot.
Has Green T-shirt guy always just existed?
He's just existed in WWE's time. He's everywhere and nowhere.
Is he like an omen that we're not paying attention to? I don't know.
I think so. He is and here's the thing. He looks exactly the same from
He
10 years
does.
ago. What are you, bro?
He's a
What are
vampire.
you?
He's undead.
That is crazy. Oh, what a match.
Ugh.
And to think these two went on to have one of, maybe not on screen or on, our phones all the time, but one of the best friendships ever. They went
Mhm.
on and became great tag team champions together and helped bring relevancy to the WWE tag team women's division at a time when it was dead. When these two women held it, it was meaningful. And then like anytime Mercedes Moné has an event or something big coming up in Japan, Bailey's always there. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, this is one of the greatest matches and one of the greatest feuds of all time. But what came from it is what a really great friendship between these two women.
And isn't the match always better when you fight with your friends?
Oh yeah, family do it better.
Mhm. I mean, like Charlotte and Alexa, they're not friends.
Oh man, I'm just still looking at these highlights just because it's been so long
Mhm.
since I watched this match and like I'm telling you, man, like
Mhm.
this match hit different in this time. Like it feels like you see a match like this semi regularly in the women's division now. It was not. I promise, it wasn't like this back then. This was so rare in its time.
Especially deep in the trenches as you have been through your time as a wrestling fan. Like,
Yeah.
this is something that revitalized the entire women's division.
Oh yeah. In a big way.
Mhm. And, we remember the people who have fought for more screen time, and, like, this is definitely one of those times that, proved a lot of expectations wrong.
Yep. Because they just delivered. Like you never like at this time you just didn't know what you were getting from the women. You know what I'm saying? But
Mhm.
man, it all changed, and this was part of it. And then here's the curtain call here. The four horsewomen curtain call. Becky Lynch is out.
Mhm.
Charlotte Flair is out. It's a great moment. Once again, like I said, part of their curtain call. I remember this.
Such a great match.
Great moment, great match. All of it. Look at young Becky. Look at young Charlotte. I mean, just crazy.
And it's just crazy where they are now because of moments like this.
Yeah, man. Such an important match. Such an important match. Ah, hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. Oh, here's Sasha back. Oh, show respect. See, I
Which is
think they
so
didn't.
weird to see her do. So weird.
Yeah. See, they when they showed this on the WWE Network all those years back, they didn't show this part. This was off camera
Mhm.
at the time.
That's so cool to see.
Yeah.
Especially because moments ago, we were just seeing, Sasha Banks verbally assault Bayley.
Yeah. But all that mean the moment was so important. Like it just was. What they just did, the
Mhm.
pop, the crowd, the way they reacted to it. I'm glad they got a chance to do the curtain call. Like I know she was the scathing heel, but
Mhm.
I'm glad they're like, you know what, just be you. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Be
Right.
real, be raw. And I'm glad they was able to have that moment. Yeah, it did come off of camera. You know what they'd already cut out and went
Mhm.
to the next thing.
Mhm.
But like I'm glad they was able to have this moment. It's
Right.
all part of this beautiful thing that has become women's wrestling and how we all love the development of it and what it is now and still growing. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And, we need all different types of embodiments of women to help us get there, and everyone is valid. Whether we love them or that we hate them, we always need that opposing force, and that's what provokes the greatness out of us. So, and
Yeah,
it's so important for young women to see, and that's what this match it did just that.
yeah. Incredible match. I'm glad we was able to watch it and go back to it because I do still to this day cite that as one of my favorite
Mhm.
matches of all time. And it was just nice to be able to go back and watch it because it's just been so long since I've seen it, and it just reminded me why it was an instant classic in that time and still holds to this day.
Mhm.
So yeah, it was a great match, great watch along. I think we debuted here well for the Bouquet of Legacy, and we're gonna keep on going, keep on rolling, keep on honoring these amazing women that come in and make what women's wrestling great, the matches that make it great, the moments that make it great. We're gonna continue to cover that here. And we're going to call this a really great episode, a really great pilot episode. I really like how it turned out. We got a chance to not only talk about and highlight one, but two women that trailblazed and have contributed to making women's wrestling what it is today. And another person who contributes to all that with everything that she does with interviewing and in the podcast space and highlighting women's wrestling the way that she does. That's my co-host, Divinely Designed Annie O'Neal. I want to give you the floor right now and give you the opportunity to plug anything that you want to plug or where they can catch you at.
Well, you know what? September 27th, I will be returning to Marshfield, Wisconsin for one of the most special nights of the year, and that's night for Tyler. It's just that time to honor one of those spirits who were taken from us too soon. So, and admission is totally free. So the fact that things are too expensive, that's not something that you can cling to. You just show up and we show out, because it's going to be a really fun time. I'll be on the call there. I'll be on those mats, working for my purple belt,
Yes.
and keeping my head in the gym, just pushing forward. So, and it's an honor to honor the past present of women's wrestling, and what makes it so great with you, such an amazing co-conspirator. So just thank you for this opportunity. It's awesome just being a vocal point for what is so important. So yeah, this is what we're doing, and we're doing it. We're living the dream, man. And I don't mean that ironically. So, Khan, what are you doing, and how are you holding it down?
Man, I'm doing everything I can here in your house. And like I said, it just seems like there's that wind of change. So I'm glad we were able to shift gears and change the programming. I know when I put it out there was a lot of wrestlers and people in the business that were very excited about this new podcast series. Even when I was at Emerge, I had a couple people approach me excited about it and ready to check out what they're doing. A lot of them do check us out on the podcast version. I've learned that. Like, that when sometimes it's hard to know when you're not
Sure.
out there, but then when you're out there with the people and they see you and they're like, oh yeah, I'm loving the podcast and you guys do a great job or whatever, and I'm
Mhm.
listening to you, whether it be people in the business or when I'm out there during intermissions and stuff, and fans are like, yeah, I love hearing what you guys are doing, you guys get me through my work day, you guys, that means a lot to me, for
It
real.
really
Like,
does. It
it
really
means a
does.
lot to me when people say, "Oh, you get me through my work shift," or "You get me through my drive to work," or "I'm in the gym and I'm just listening to some pod." Like, I get those. I get told that, like, not a whole lot. I'm not saying I'm bigger than what I am. It's not anything like that. But I'm just saying when I do get a chance to hear that, it really does make me feel good that people will listen to what we're doing. Maybe they can't catch us on the lives. I totally get it. I totally understand. But when you get a chance to listen to us on the podcast version, I love that. I appreciate you guys taking the time to, hit that button and listen to what we're doing. And while you're at it, go ahead and hit a Bailey to Belly on that follow button. Subscribe to us. Just make sure you're following everything that we're doing. And yeah, I mean, I'll be on the call. I haven't been to this promotion in 6 years before COVID. Terre Haute, Indiana. I'll be going back to New Wave Pro after 6 years. I'll be going back to that promotion on the 27th of September. I'll be on the call commentary. So that will be great. Like I said, it's there in Terre Haute, Indiana. The show is called Talk of the Town. So check it out. If you guys get a chance to. New Wave Pro just came back just a couple shows ago. And yeah, they hit me up, wanted me on the call, wanted in your
There you
house
go.
event. So I'm going to do that. It's going to be great. But other than that, just making sure we're doing everything we need to do here at the show. Make sure this pilot came off as well as it needed to. I think it went great. I thoroughly enjoyed it. But yeah, I'm just going to be here doing everything I do, moving around in the back, doing silence and making all the deals I can to do everything for the betterment of In Your House and, of course, for the betterment of wrestling as a whole. And that takes work. And that's HOWSC, and the W stands for work. So for Divinely Designed Danny O'Neal and the whole team here at In Your House, I'm Alakon the Concept House, here to remind you to tell a friend, to tell a friend, to tell a friend, to hop on this bandwagon, get on, or get gone, because the household is still going mighty strong. You guys have a great day and a great rest of your week. Peace.
Yeah, yeah. In your house with O'Con. Hey, O'Con in your house. Hollywood in your house. Hypocrisy's head in the clouds. Curating all kind of loud. Wrestling in front of the crowds. Paragon's holding it down. Anybody can get it. Josh Joseph standing on his decisions. He is the voice. There is no choice. We is them boys in your house making wrestling noise. Moving fast just like cruiserweight action. And your house is the perfect distraction. Pumpers in your ears when you in traction. Get this work with some wrestling action. Smoke.